Kia ora, good evening. I just woke up from a dream that I need to record. Just give me a second. So, I had a dream that I was in my ex's basement, where he's holding all my stuff hostage. But I was like, it was like a cell. Like it had a bed, there was no window, there was like a wooden stool with a jug of water, so obviously like prison. And there's like this little flicker of light, like it just appeared out of nowhere, just like the ones that I used to record in my room. And I followed it, like I got up and I followed it, and he's put this door there so that you have to he put it there so that I couldn't get access to all my things. But when I followed the light up the stairs, the light pushed the door down like it was nothing. This door apparently is so heavy even the boys couldn't move it if they tried, right? Because he doesn't want me getting my stuff. But yeah, the door just fell. And when I followed the light up the stairs and into the kitchen, it was like, how do I explain it? There's a scene in Beetlejuice where she goes to the door and she opens up the door to the house, and there's like sand, and there's like this big snaky serpent thing diving. I think it's like black and white, like Beetlejuice colours, like swimming through the sand. It was kind of like that, but it was just white. It was like when I got up out of the kitchen, instead of there being like his kitchen, it was kind of like a movie set, sort of just like Beetlejuice sort of thing, like a movie set shell, but then it was all just white, and it, like, the walls fell down and the floor fell out, but instead of falling, I turned into that flicker of white light. I just started flying, like I was just floating. And I was sort of thinking, oh my God, this is so cool, even though I'm scared of heights in real life. Let's see how far we can go. So I just like took off. I was like, pew! And I was just flying, as just like I was just emanating. I could even feel myself, like my entire body sort of going, like light does. Like I was like pulsating this light. I could feel it all through my body, and I'm flying, and all I remember is like I shot up out of Wakefield. I was up out of Wakefield. I went above like Earth's atmosphere. I was in the stratosphere. I was in, like flying about through space. And then as it was kind of like I was looking to see what I liked. It's like I was searching for what was calling me. Like I was searching for home, or like I was following the voomp, voomp, voomp of my body, like the pulsation, like that magnetic pole of my body. I was just following it. It was like drawing me to somewhere. And what it drew me to is, like, as I was coming down, back into the Earth's atmosphere and, back into the sky, kind of like my the dream I had back in October of 2019 actually, except in that one I was like a comet, but in this I had complete control over where I was flying. I came down, oh excuse me, over a forest, and it was just this beautiful alpinous forest, and I was flying over the forest, and I could see bears, and I could see wolves, and I could see like deer, and I could see like eagles and birds, and all sorts of things. And I flew over a lake, and I landed at these giant, like golden gates, these big, huge, like golden gates. And they opened up, and it was like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It was just like that. The Gene Wilder, when he does the somersault at the gates and he opens it up, like what Willy Wonka looked like. Kind of like uh, most of you won't know what I'm talking about, but in Birmingham there's Cadbury World, the old Cadbury factory. When the guy built, the Cadbury factory to make all the Cadbury chocolate bars, it was like a village, like a real village, a working village where all his staff would work, and there was like a big factory, but there were shops and houses and all of that sort of thing. But it looked just like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, um, from the Gene Wilder movie set. And in big, like, colourful writing, it said the Entertainment Factory. And I realised that it was my holiday resort. And because I've never known what to call it. Like I've never known sort of really what to call it. I've always just called it the Entertainment Factory. Like I call the whole empire the Entertainment Factory. It used to be North Star Industries, but I just started calling it the Entertainment Factory because of what I know it is that I'm creating from it. And then I had decided, just for now, I'll call it the Entertainment Factory, but this was actually called the Entertainment Factory. So I must actually really truly be going to call it the Entertainment Factory. And it was full of people. And when I landed, it was like I landed with a thud and the ground shook, and everybody turned around, everybody that was there, like the staff and the kids and tourists and all of that. When they saw me landing, it was like a scene out of Pete's Dragon. I was a dragon and they were people, but I was like this really cool animated dragon, and I was how do I explain it? I was gold. I was like the golden dragon. I was a golden dragon. But when I landed and the people saw me and came running over, and they were clapping and cheering, and, all the kids were climbing on me and giving me a hug and everything. It was like I was gold when I landed, but when I landed and the kids came over and everything, and people were hugging me and clapping and cheering and wanting to talk to me and taking photos, and the kids were climbing all on me, I turned into Brehenies, the white dragon. Except my heart was glowing. So the white light that was in the basement became my heart, which was like this little fiery kind of orangey, pinky, purple, reddy, orangey heart that was pulsating. And you could see like my heart through the whiteness of my Brehenies dragon scales and that. But every time I moved, like when my feet went on the ground, I was gold, but when I land on the ground, I was white, where you could see like my glowing heart. And then I woke up, and I could still feel my body going whoop, whoop, whoop. So obviously in dreams, basements, like in dreams when you dream of going downstairs, down into basements, down into hell, it's it can be to do with like descending, or but in my case, because obviously you have to take other things into consideration, but in my case it's been made to look at things, examine things, because like basements and dreams represent like your psychological mind, not your conscious mind, but your psychological mind. Traumas, that sort of thing. Your primal scream. In my case, obviously, it was to do with like domestic abuse. I didn't know I was being domestically abused. I didn't know that it was called sexual assault, historical sexual assault. I didn't know any of that until I got locked up, and I was, it was the start of me being released from domestic abuse. So that's what that is talking about, like being trapped in his psychological mind, because it was his house. So his mental illness is what trapped me. And me following that little flickering of light, the light of creation, the light of inspiration, the light of salvation, going up the stairs, it freed me from the prison. I got freed from it. Once I looked at what I was in, once I realised the truth of the situation, i.e. being in the basement, and the stool and the jug of water, obviously, like if you think of the jug of water as being like a crystal ball, because obviously water is emotion and intuition, but it was in like a glass jug. So like looking at it like a crystal ball, looking at it from all angles, like a fishbowl, being able to examine it from all sides, helped set me free. Seeing the truth of the situation of what I was in helped set me free. So I followed the light of creation. I followed the light of inspiration, and the creation frequency, because obviously it was through me writing my stories and working on my recipes, i.e. his kitchen, because I did all my beauty products, all my food and everything I created in his kitchen. So by following that spark of inspiration, by following that spark of creation, it actually freed me. It liberated me, and as a result, I grew wings, and I was able to fly and escape. Like the walls came down, and interesting, it looked like a movie set, and I'm making movie references because of what the entertainment factory is going to be. And I flew. And when you dream of flying, it's it's ambition. It's to do with your ambition. It's to do with, and obviously, the higher you fly, the higher your ambition, the further afield you're going to go in your career, in your profession, in your advancement. So I was flying without wings. Like I mean, obviously, I didn't know I was a dragon, but I was flying. I wasn't in a plane. I wasn't a bird flapping wings. I was just flying. It was natural for me. So it represents like this was always meant to be. This was always um, me being a writer and me creating these movies and video games and all that. It was always meant to be. And of course, because I flew up into outer space, to dream of being in outer space basically means like having the Midas touch, winning the lottery, like being blessed with everything you could possibly imagine. Not even like you know how they say shoot for the stars, and if you get the moon, you've still gone far. Well, I mean, I was in the stars. I was swimming around the planets and all of that. So it's like the sky isn't the limit for me. What I've created is beyond the sky being the limit. There are no limits to the potential of what it is that I'm going to create. That's what that means, right? So then when I was coming down to land, it's like, okay, get ready, because it's all about to start manifesting in real life, is what that means. And flying over the forest and everything, obviously, as I keep saying, when you dream of nature, it's to do with God. So it's like having the backing of God. This was like lush green alpinous forests that was stretching for as far as the eye could see through the mountains and the clear blue skies and all of that. So it's like God's blessing, having the blessing of God, having the protection of God, God putting me on the right path, God pulling me to where I need to go, and it being lush and um, healthy and good and clean and fresh and pure, and everything that nature is basically. Now obviously I saw bears, and I'm Mama Bear, that's my nickname. So whenever I see bears, totem bear to me means like mother and child. So obviously it's to do with like me and my children, me and my sons. Then I saw wolves, who are the totem for the teacher, the master maker. So God teaching me through being a mother, because it was obviously through being a mum and homeschooling my boys and coming up with all the ideas when homeschooling my boys and writing all the stories for my boys, and that set me on this path that I'm heading down with the foundation and the entertainment factory. And I saw deer, and deer mean, like poise, dignity, and grace. So basically, God saying that because I dealt with everything with poise, dignity, and grace, I'm now getting blessed. Um, and obviously deer, because it was the doe. There was no stag or anything. It was the doe, and obviously that's to do with like feminine overflow, feminine grace, femininity. So because I worked on myself, I did my etiquette classes. I started taking pride in my appearance, and I lost weight and all of that. I worked on myself in the presence of God, with God's love, with God's blessing, following God's guidance, because they were in the forest. And then I landed at the factory. I landed at the gates, the golden gates. You could think of the golden gates as being like heaven, which people call it heaven, and yes, I'm a reverend, but I don't believe that heaven is that. I call heaven basically the creation frequency. When you die, you step into the creation frequency, where what you become next, if you're not having to go to purgatory or be reborn in that, what you become next is completely up to you. You get to choose what you become next. So it's God saying you get to choose what you become next. Of all the things that you could be in this world, I'm going to let you choose what you become next. And obviously I chose, out of all the things that I could be in this world, Prime Minister or, whatever, I chose the entertainment factory. I chose building this industry for the kids. I was the gold dragon, which is my highest totem. But when I landed, I was the white dragon. I was pure white with the glowing heart. Because when the children see me, they see a white dragon. Even though I'm a gold dragon, the children see the white dragon, because all they see is like love and purity and innocence and virtues and, motherly instincts. Because when you think of dragons are the totem of um, time, ancestry, um, you know, parenthood, that sort of thing. So, yeah, but when children see me, they see me for who I really am, which is like, fun and creative and protective and nurturing and motherly and, all that sort of thing, which is why I look like an animated dragon, like Peach Dragon. When they see me for who I really am, not, the fire breathing dragon that, when I'm a bounty hunter and I have to collect souls in that, other people fear what children don't in me, because I don't have to be that around them. I can just be who I really am in their presence, because I'm imagination and I'm stories and I'm yummy food and I'm laughter and I'm frivolity and purity and innocence and all of that sort of thing, because I'm around the children. So obviously, I speak their language, is what that is. And all the tourists and that clapping and cheering were the people who were engaging in what it was I'd created in this imagination land, in this Willy Wonka's chocolate factory land, in um, the entertainment factory's grounds, and they were embracing of it. And it was like parents thanking me for giving their children a reason, the parents thanking me for giving their children a purpose, for helping their children, for guiding their children, for thanking their children, for loving their children. And as a result, they were all participating in what it was we were making and selling. And, they were telling their friends, and they were all coming on holidays there, and they were all just part of this incredible community. And that's what the dream was. Except now I mean, like I've always known how I want to design the grounds of the holiday resort, but now I know how, and it had a very distinctive European feel. Like with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the Sound of Music, and that it was very sort of, like Austria, Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, all that kind of feel. So the only place I know in the UK that has that kind of feel is Pitlochry in Scotland. And I was actually just saying to my boys the other day, I could live in Pitlochry. It's amazing there. Look, I used to call it little Switzerland. Um, so are we choosing Scotland, or am I going to be building in Europe? I don't know. But it's my choosing, apparently. Just have to follow my glowing heart, I guess. So, yeah, so very interesting. So, that's what that dream means. Pretty cool, really, eh? So now you know. Speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.